Live from the Canadian Broadcasting Centre, this is CBC Connects.
Hey everyone, welcome to CBC Connects. How are you? I'm doing great. I've got my friend Eli Glasner with me today from CBC News. I'm Jamey Ordolis. I'm the host of CBC Connects. Are you guys excited to see Arlene Dickinson from Dragon's Den with us here today? How about the cast of Farce talking about their New Year's Eve special? All right, but first, we have a very special treat for you. It's nice to bring music into the atrium here at the Canadian Broadcast Centre. Let's welcome Skydiggers.
You say that I've forgotten. You say that I don't care. You say that I've forgotten. You say I've been unfair. You say been unkind to you, say I let you down. You say I've been unkind to you, say I let you down. Shimmy up those words that you have learned to twist around. Shimmy up those words that you have learned twist around. Let's twist. Rambo chased the tiger, around the tree they run. When Rambo catched the tiger, the butter they become. Shimmy up those words that you have learned to twist around. Shimmy up those words that you have learned twist around. Shimmy up those words. Shimmy up those words. Shimmy up those words that you have learned to twist around.
Thank you so much, guys. That was amazing.
It was a little sultry. I didn't think he could get down like that for the holidays, but he found a way. Very impressive.
You guys getting down? Yeah. All right. We're going to see Skydiggers in just a little bit at the end of the show. But first, I want to talk about the holidays. Are we ready for the holidays, everyone?
No.
This one's ready. Eli?
No.
Eli's
I
not
had
so
Hanukkah
sure.
to warm up, and even still, I'm not ready.
It's true.
I'm going to be the guy, December 23rd in the drugstore buying boxes of chocolates. That's the sad truth. I apologize to all of you and my family.
In case you don't know, Eli is one of our arts reporters with CBC News, but he's also CBC's film critic. So I always want to know what his advice is, but I also want to seem cool in front of him. So if I'm like, oh, what do you think of The Hobbit?
It was better than the first one. I'll say that. Yeah.
Exactly what I thought too. Yeah.
Everyone's allowed to have their own opinions. Don't worry about impressing me. The most important thing about reviewing films for me, I'm always going to be honest. I'm never going to tell you what I think I should think. I'm going to tell you how I feel. I'm going to let you know my opinion. And, sometimes that earns me some angry opinions of others, but, it's a personal thing. It's my connection between you and how I feel and my love of the cinema.
Well, you're my go-to for movie advice for what I'm going to see on the weekend. But right now, the only thing I care about watching is holiday movies and holiday shows. And so you can see a ton of them on the CBC, everything from Frosty to the Griswolds, every day from now till the rest of the holidays. And so I'm curious to know, Eli, what are your top 5 holiday movies of all time?
All right, there's a lot, but I've given you my faves, and I think we have to start with one that a lot of people love, the classic A Christmas Story. You see, we got applause already. See, I think at one point or another, we've all been Ralphie. We've all been that kid. I've been the kid stuck with his tongue to the pole. It hurts. I have to get water. It's a bad thing. Now, here's the thing. My colleague, Deanna Sumanek, she actually did a story. This is seen as the classic American Christmas tale. They spent 2 weeks shooting in Cleveland. They spent most of the movie shooting in Toronto and St. Catharines. So it's actually a very Canadian Christmas story that America has embraced and will let them. You see it there. And I think another thing, the very kind of Canadian quality of this, I mean, this is a little bit of that kind of bah humbug feel on Christmas. It's kind of, this came along at a time in the early 80s, but there's a lot of people just like, Christmas is the greatest thing in the world. This was saying, you know what, Christmas is wonderful, but getting there, getting to that special night, can be a little trying, and I think that's what this movie captures. Now let me move on to one of my new favorite modern classics you might not have seen. It's called Arthur Christmas. Now this is from the geniuses at Aardman Animation. They did Wallace and Gromit, and this basically says, well, you want to know how Santa delivers all those presents? Well, this is a high-tech operation. Santa has all these ninja elves, but that is Arthur. Arthur's job is to answer the letters you write. And Arthur answers a letter to one girl who doesn't believe in Santa, and then she doesn't get her present. And so it's about his mission to use those ninja elves and try and make that one girl happy again so that she can really believe in Christmas.
I've never even seen this one.
No, this
New
is,
classic,
just came out a couple of years ago. You've got James McAvoy, Jim Broadbent, Bill Nye as kind of the elder retired Santa. There he is. Just ridiculous, hilarious. I used to go down chimneys, didn't hurt me, that kind of thing. So this is like, I give you the Glasner guarantee. You rent this, it is a solid rental. I'd be shocked if you don't enjoy it.
Your next one is one of my favorites.
Oh, this has to be. So Scrooged. Let's talk about Bill Murray at the height of his powers. And anytime you have a movie with Bill Murray, Buster Poindexter, Bobcat Goldthwait, Carol Kane, the amazing Carol Kane. Stolen Vodka, Robert Mitchum. I mean, this is obviously a modern kind of spin on the classic Scrooge tale. What I love about it is two things. First of all, Bill Murray, the god of comedy. This is him at the height of his powers. There's Buster Poindexter. But also, this is actually a satire on how the media has embraced Christmas. So it's, talking about a little bit of Christmas overload at the holidays, something I can relate to, but then kind of bringing it all back to the classic Scrooge origins at the end. So that is Scrooge. Now, moving on, I come from a mixed family. We celebrate Hanukkah and Christmas. So it's nice to have a movie that isn't necessarily super Christmas, but fits for the holidays, Singing Penguins. Come on, people. Happy Feet. I'm a little ashamed to admit, but there are moments in this movie that actually gives me shivers. That thing where all the penguins come together and join in song. This is March of the Penguins as a musical. It's a concept that shouldn't work, but does. And what I love about this movie, if you've seen it or if you remember, this is a movie that goes for it. The last half hour of this movie, it becomes this bigger and much more epic film. Mumble the Penguin and his happy dancing feet. Elijah Wood, Robin Williams, one of his better later performances. Yes, so there you go. That is Happy Feet. And finally, if I had to pick a favorite and a true modern classic, and you can talk about all the great ones, White Christmas, what have you, but I think Die Hard is pretty darn good. Of the last 10 years ago, Elf is...
Oh, yeah.
They captured something special with that movie. And here is a movie starring the guy from Anchorman, Will Ferrell, directed by the guy who did Iron Man, Jon Favreau, but they put it together and they got something, I think, magical. It's not cloying, it's not too saccharine, it's not too sentimental. And I like Will Ferrell. He can be very amusing. If you want to see the new Anchorman film, it's fine. I'm not sure it's as good as the last one. But what's so special about Elf is that in this case, the comedy doesn't come from a place of stupidity or ignorance. He's just this wonderful, innocent person, this elf that grew up in the North Pole, and a lot of it is about him adapting to the world around us. So he's kind of our eyes and ears from, days gone by, from Christmas past, as it were. Now, I had a chance to talk to Will Ferrell recently. He was in town for Anchorman 2. Which opens today in theaters, and you can go check it out. Great film. But I got to ask him about what was it like being in those tights in the middle of New York City. So here he is talking about becoming Elf.
Well, I didn't know it was going to be timeless when I was running around the streets of New York in tights and an elf hat. I literally thought this could be the end of my career. It was just that fish out of water, someone who was had endless enthusiasm for life and just found joy in every single thing because of that was the doctrine that was taught up at the North Pole, and kind of viewing it through the lens of almost like a childlike appreciation for everything, and that's kind of how I based Buddy.
God bless him. No one does idiotic
better
than Will Ferrell. He is fantastic. My kids and I were watching the movie last night. That scene where he's pouring the syrup on his spaghetti and then he crumbles up. My teeth were hurting. Oh my goodness.
I've already seen it twice this year alone. It's so good. Put it on the background, and you can watch it on CBC, cbc.ca/holiday as our holiday website. You can find all the CBC programming there. You can watch Elf and a bunch of other stuff online. So have fun with that. And if you're not that into the holiday spirit of movies, you've got two faves really quickly.
Two quick. This is kind of like the anti-Christmas Christmas tale. It's called Rare Exports. It's not for the kids. It's Santa as this mythical carnivorous creature that is broken out from the ice and wreaks havoc in Finland. It is fantastic and hilarious and terrifying. Rare Exports. And Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, a great movie about Robert Downey Jr. at the height of his powers, before Iron Man, but that's shot by Shane Black. And the thing about Shane Black, the director, he always sets his movies about Christmas. It's one of his inside jokes, his running jokes. He always likes to put that in the background. So if you want a Christmas movie that isn't too Christmassy, but you happen to like Iron Man and Robert Downey Jr., Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, a great detective film.
Love that movie too. All right, guys, so CBC Connects, we got to hang out with a bunch of stars and personalities from the CBC, and we got to find out what their favorite holiday movies and programs are. They shared them with us, so let's take a look at what they had to say.
Favorite Christmas movie? A Christmas Story? Is that the one with the kid with the glasses?
No, I want an official red carbonation 200 millimeter rifle.
Die Hard's the best Christmas movie ever made, truly.
Yippee-ki-yay, mother.
And my favorite Christmas TV show is How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I love that. When the Who starts singing at the end, I still get a bit verklempt.
Christmas Vacation's got to be up there. That's priceless to me. The whole idea of families getting together and how their different uncle shows up, and that's pretty funny.
Frosty the Snowman, how he comes to life.
Like the original?
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
I wish I could wake up every day like that.
I really like all kinds of movies with Ben Affleck, whatever he's in. So he's got that Christmas movie.
Jingle All the Way.
Yeah.
Jingle All the Way.
Yeah.
For me, It's a Wonderful Life is not only the best Christmas movie, for me, it's one of the best films ever made.
Look, Daddy, teacher says every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
I have to admit, Christmas Carol is a classic, and it's always on TV that time of year.
Yeah.
And I think, it's become a tradition for families for generations and generations. And the original one still holds up. That's the magic of film.
Hey, boy! Hey, a Merry Christmas! It is Christmas Day, isn't it?
Why, cool!
I've always said this, and I know this to be the case. Scrooge was misunderstood.
Do we think Kevin O'Leary's misunderstood? Oh, yeah.
I think we understand him just fine.
Well, we have someone who can speak to that coming out now. She's one of the fiercest, but also one of the loveliest women in Canada. Before she comes out, let's take a look at her doing her thing on the holiday episode of Dragon's Den.
Is it wrong that I kind of like mine?
No, not a problem at all. We've got plenty of people who love to wear theirs all year round.
Oh, that's ugly.
You think so?
That's.
I quite like it.
I kind of like mine.
Yeah, yours is even color match. Oh, that's Bruce for sure.
I think we have a Santa in training here, hey?
Everybody, please welcome Arlene Dickinson. Let's keep it going, Arlene. You look gorgeous. Brady, you've been doing a lot of press for your new book these past few days, in addition to the holidays.
I have. Funny you should mention that.
Everyone's seen this book, All In, the latest book by Arlene Dickinson. Tell us about it.
It's all about being an entrepreneur and whether you have what it really takes to be a good entrepreneur and how hard it is emotionally to be an entrepreneur. So it's about entrepreneurs.
You did include a lot of stuff about balancing your personal and professional life in this book. Why did you decide to do that?
Because nobody really talks about the truth of what it really means to be in business for yourself. It takes a lot of emotional toil. It also takes a lot of effort, not just financial and business effort, but it takes a lot of personal effort. So I wanted to make sure that I talked about the truth of it.
And what's your personal experience been? Because women who admire you think, oh, she's got it all. Is it possible to have it all?
Well, of course.
Just not all at the same time.
Just not
probably.
at the same time, right?
So yeah, what has your personal experience been on your rise?
You know what, my personal experience has been that I've learned as I've gone along the way, and that you don't need to have all the answers all the time. I think people think that you have to always know exactly what you're going to do, and that if you're in business for yourself, that you have to have all the answers and be the smartest person in the room. And I've learned that that's actually far from the truth, and that every time you put a foot forward, you're actually going to get ahead. But it's when you sit stuck in making decisions that you fail. And I'd rather fail than not try.
How do you manage the stress when you're waiting for that deal to come through and you realize the thousands, maybe millions riding on that phone call, and you just have to wait? I mean, I imagine that must really take a toll.
There is a lot of stress in business, but you know, if you really believe in something, then you're willing to put yourself out there and take that risk. So it's not easy, but I can't imagine doing it any other way. And that's kind of what the book talks about, which is I'm kind of wired that way, and I think most entrepreneurs are. You kind of go, yes, I have to be all in. It's like at the poker table, right? If you're all in, then you're willing to take that risk that you might lose it all too.
Yeah, it is a very honest, frank guide to becoming an entrepreneur, to starting your own business. What would you say, to give us a little bit of a teaser of what's in store in this book, is the biggest pitfall about taking that chance and doing that?
I would say the biggest pitfall is not getting ready yourself personally. I keep saying this, that if you don't have yourself personally ready, you can have the best idea in the world, but if you're not prepared for the race, you won't be able to run it. So it's like a marathon, and you need to train for it, you need to think about it, you need to always be conditioning yourself for it, and it will be hard on your relationships. That's what I tell people. That might be the thing in the book you want to read about. Says the girl who's gone through a couple. Just saying.
So preparing yourself, preparing your partners for these rocky days ahead, days of high stress and what have you? Yeah,
I actually say the book is as much for people who live with entrepreneurs as it is for entrepreneurs themselves, because they might go, oh, that's why they do that thing.
Here, honey, this is why I'm like this.
Yes, yes,
Exactly.
It's an excuse book.
Excellent.
And once you're as successful as you are and as busy as you are, does dating and relationships get any easier, harder?
Wait a minute, I didn't know we were going to talk about my dating life. I never.
Well, you're such a good-looking lady.
Oh,
and
yeah,
everyone...
whatever. Let's just oh, it's Christmas. Let's talk about Christmas.
You have a big new show coming out in the new year.
I do.
It's called Recipe to Riches.
Yep.
It's on the CBC. It's a competitive show for home chefs across Canada. Tell us about it.
Well, no one would ever classify me as a chef. So when they asked me to do the show, I went, oh, what do I know? But then they said, no, it's about whether or not these products not only taste good, but can be marketed to people, and will people buy them? And so I got to sit down and eat all this great food and then decide whether or not people would actually pay for it. So it was fun, and I learned a lot. I mean, Vikram and Gail are fantastic. I mean, they would taste something and go, oh, I taste the cumin or the lavender or whatever. And I go, what the heck is cumin? Like, I didn't know what they were talking about, but I said, oh, I like it or I didn't. So.
What would you say the most common marketing mistakes these entrepreneurs, these chefs make?
Well, who doesn't have a home recipe that you all love, right? We all have made something that, oh, this is so good. But that doesn't mean it's commercially viable,
right,
or that you can make it affordable, or that you can sell it in stores, or that you can package it properly, or that you can mass produce it. So they tend to confuse something that is good for them at home to something the market will want. Kind of just like on Dragon's Den, right? Where people come on and they have a good idea, but that doesn't mean that everybody else thinks it's a good idea.
That personal connection, but then making it tractable and sellable.
Right.
In just a few seconds, we're going to start taking questions from social media and from the audience. Leah's there if you want to go meet up with her to ask Arlene some questions. I know we have a ton from social media. While they get ready, Arlene, not just for people who are aspiring chefs, but anyone who wants to create a brand, what is block one starting point?
Block one starting point, once you've got yourself ready, is put it down on paper, a strategy around what it is you're trying to do. Too many people go right to a tactical thing and they don't write it down. They don't say, this is who I am, this is what I'm trying to build, this is where we're headed. Because how do you expect people to follow you if you don't have it written somewhere or put somewhere exactly what you're trying to build?
Great.
Simple.
All right, Leah, questions from social media.
Yes, hello. The first one's coming from Twitter. It's from Reddy Owl. And she wants to know, Arlene, what you do for fun. I mean, how much downtime do you get to take for yourself?
Downtime? What is downtime?
She's all in, guys.
I'm all in. No, that's right. Let's hold this up. What I do for fun? Well, I do a lot of things for fun. I just so many things that I can't remember one of them right now. You know what? I love to go out with my friends. I spend time with my family. I love to read. I love to run when I get a minute to, which I should do more of. I definitely love movies and books. There's so many things that I like to do. And I try to find moments throughout my life where I can just do small pieces of things that are downtime. So I love the fact that anytime, any place, you can actually get on here, or a RIM, or a BlackBerry, or whatever it is you're using, and kind of go away somewhere. So that's part of the fun of the internet, right? You can always explore other things and take some downtime right there.
Do you like writing for U Inc? UInc.com is Arlene's website for entrepreneurs.
Well, that's business. I love it. Okay, so those of you who are entrepreneurs or are living with one, go to uinc.com, YOUINC.com. You can join. It's free to join, and that whole site is about helping entrepreneurs be better at what they do. So you can talk to other entrepreneurs, you can read content and stories, and you can share your journey.
Great. Another question from social media?
Sure, this one's coming from Facebook. It's Mary R. Brennan, and she's asking which of your personal qualities you most attribute to your success.
I don't know. My personal qualities. I think I've got a pretty good sense of humor. Maybe that's helped. I don't know. Like, I think my personal...
Might be humility.
Yeah. Thanks.
I was going to say, do the opposite. Name a bunch.
I'm struggling. I don't know. Maybe just, I don't know. I just kind of be who I am. That's what I'd say.
One more, Leah?
Sure. This is another one from Facebook. It's from Karen Simmons. And she wants to know what your biggest stumbling block was in becoming successful as you are today.
Well, actually, that would circle right back to the question beforehand. My biggest stumbling block was myself. So the biggest hurdle I ever had to overcome and continue every day to overcome is your own self-doubt, right? Your own, am I good enough to do this? Can I do this? You know, people tell me I shouldn't do this. You know, there's other people that are better than me. So all of those self-doubt things that we play actually create huge obstacles for us in life. And I'd say that's been my biggest challenge, is putting that aside and believing in myself.
I recommend this book to everyone. Arlene is very honest and very eloquent in it. And you can also watch her on Dragon's Den tonight. It's the Second Chances episode. A lot of characters on that one.
A lot of characters. If they come back twice and they still fail, then you think, we're going to do a third time.
They need your book.
You need the book.
All right, Arlene, thank you so much. Have a great holiday.
Sure. Thanks, everyone.
A well-deserved holiday. All right, everyone, let's give her a round of applause. For us, one of our favorite, you can stay right here for a second. Stay right here. One of our favorite annual traditions at the CBC is the Royal Canadian Air Force's New Year's Eve special. We've got the cast backstage, but first, let's take a sneak peek at what they have in store for this year.
This time, you'll have to defeat the dirtiest challengers ever. Your opponents are Senators Pamela Wallin, Mike Duffy, and Patrick Brazo. Welcome to the Senate Games!
Okay, we're here in London town. Beautiful palace. If the Atlantic Ocean was frozen over, you know you could skate it in no time flat. Bobby Orr.
What other issues would a Trudeau government hope to tackle?
Oh, we believe in a no-nonsense approach to gun control. I'm converting all of these assault rifles into assault bongs.
All right, everyone, from the Royal Canadian Air Force, please welcome Don Ferguson, Lou Magoy, Craig Lozeau, and Arnold Pinnock. Let's give them a big round of applause. come sit next to me.
Why
You
do I
need a
have to
hand
sit
getting
at
up?
the kids' table?
Luba has to climb into the chair.
Oh, you need?
A winch. She needs a
step
winch.
stool. You can get her up.
There.
Two gentlemen. Your entourage is what you said. Yeah.
Are you good?
Welcome, guys. Very nice to have you.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
We looking forward to New Year's? Everyone looking forward to New Year's Eve?
Absolutely.
Spending it with you guys?
Yeah, man.
Well, from 8 till 9 New Year's Eve, and then I don't care what you do.
So this is a special year for Air Farce, right?
Yeah, well, it is. It's our 40th anniversary. Can you imagine?
That is amazing.
And you and I don't look a day over 40, so that's amazing.
I was in a training bra when I started. Is this thing on?
It's not.
Oh, yeah, let's share mics.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, wait. Mic delivery. We have special mic delivery.
Special mic delivery.
Here we go.
Kelly Brown, ladies and
Thank you,
gentlemen.
Kelly.
Thank you, Kelly.
Testing,
You saved
testing.
the holidays.
There we go.
Okay.
Hello? Yes, does this thing work? Yeah, right. It works, it works.
How does 40 feel?
What?
Well, you just witnessed it right now, you know. It takes 5 minutes to climb up on a stool. and
40
gotta
years
have
feels
two
like...
guys hauling you. 40 feels good.
I was going to say, it
Yeah.
feels like the microphone we had to replace. That's right. I just want to, I don't know if we said hello yet to Arnold here, Arnold Pinnock and Craig Lozon. I don't want you guys to be left out of this conversation.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Guys, what's it like to come together every year and make this stellar, massive show?
It's a blast. It's, it's like old friends or family getting together once a year. I wish we could do it more often because it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always great. I mean, it's like a family coming back together for the holidays, and we get to spend it's almost 2 months when we shoot everything.
Yeah.
Ish. So we get to spend a lot of time together, and it's great. And then we don't get to see each other for a year, except for sometimes.
Yes. So when you're competing with comedic talents like Luba and Don, do you come with like new impressions, right? You think, wait, I'm gonna work on my Mike Duffy, and are you gonna try and steal Mulrooney away from him, or how does that play out?
I do a lot of sabotaging.
Yeah, okay, that's
I make
good.
I make all of Luba's seats really high, so she has to struggle with that. No, I mean we all sort of have characters that we do, and the writers write to our strengths, and when they come up with something new, they try and think of who looks most or sounds most like that person. So yeah, there's not a lot of competition. We love each other, so it's great.
And Craig was born to play Rob Ford. You've got to watch the
really?
show. It is unbelievable.
I don't know
if
that's
Not
a nice
to mention
thing to say,
Stephen,
That's a nice thing either.
Stephen Harper. Well, he had a big bodysuit. Come on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just brilliant. And Justin Trudeau and the
That
Prime
was very
Minister.
convincing. That was great, actually.
Thank you very
Well,
much.
tell our audience, what were the hot topics this year? Because you must spend the entire year thinking, got to do this at New Year's.
Yeah, well, what happens, any time during the year something comes up that we think, oh, that's worth remembering, we make a note. And then the writers, beginning in, I guess, the end of September, beginning of October, that's when it gets serious. Okay, what are the topics that happened, what happened in January, February, March that people may have forgotten about, but will be fun to remember? And they start putting it together. One thing the writers do very well is they combine topics. Like this year, like this Christmas, for instance, we know that the Hunger Games second edition is going to be, it's already getting promoted like crazy. It's going to be a big deal. So the writers ingeniously combine that with the Senate scandal. So we try to do that with practically all of our sketches, all of our material. We try to be serving kind of two masters at once. But the big topics this year were obviously, you could not ignore Rob Ford.
No. Rob Ford.
In fact, we have him in a couple. Well, no, you play him really. That's the real sketch you play. We do. We do a new version of Blurred Lines.
With Rob Ford.
Can we hear? Can we hear a little Rob? Can we?
Well, what I like to do is play Rob as Curly from the Three Stooges.
I could.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's like,
all right.
What do you want me to say? I'm sorry. I'm super sorry.
You also play a friend of ours, George Stroumboulopoulos.
I
this
do.
year.
He's getting harder to play because he keeps getting smaller, so I'm trying to keep up with him.
You got to go vegan, Craig.
Well, yeah, I know, right? I saw myself do him, I think it was 3 years ago when we did Lady Gaga and stuff. I was like, I'm about twice his size now. I gotta cut down. But yeah, so, and I don't really do the voice, but it's just all his mannerisms and his cool clothes.
And
I
Arnold,
like that he's wearing colors now because I like colors.
Yeah, that's a big improvement as far as we're concerned. When George started wearing colors, it's like
Not just wearing a black shirt and black pants with some black shoes anymore.
Black is very slimming.
and
But-
Arnold, who can we hear from you? Who's in your repertoire?
Well, you see, he does mostly like political people and
Yeah.
stuff like
Gotta
that.
put that mic
whereas
up.
I do more so like characters. Like one of my favorite characters I like to do is a Jamaican woman, which is basically based on my mom, which is.
Oh,
you
really?
know,
Oh, give us the voice. I love it.
Which
Good.
is more like, well, I wouldn't put the brown and the orange thing together.
Yeah, it's probably a bad
I
move,
think
actually.
that
I
looks.
think you're right.
I'm just joking.
I feel it.
It's just
Go
a
for it.
joke me I make with you.
we've missed out by not having your mom in the show this year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Next year we'll get your
Next
mom
year
in the
we
And
show.
then when we're talking about getting the show together, then the last minute, at Nelson Mandela's funeral, there was the whole deal with the sign interpreter.
Right.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
so in between the Thursday taping and the Friday taping, we added a piece, and Arnold did that, and it was amazing.
Oh
He
my
got
God.
a
Oh,
huge-
it was just hysterical. He was
Yeah, it was great.
dancing and
How can you go wrong with that character?
But also last year, you played Oprah.
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
And,
That's bold.
Yeah.
We have
You
a
mean how
question
powerful Oprah is? I shouldn't
Yeah.
have. Is
Exactly.
that's
I don't
level?
know.
Yeah, I never thought about that.
We have a question from social media from Leah.
Question's coming from Twitter. It's from Heather Lake. And she wants to know, because there's so many great guest stars, who's been the most unexpectedly funny person to guest on an Air Farce special?
unexpectedly.
I have one
We
that I was
expect them
totally
all
not
to-
expecting. Was from this year. Can I say someone from this year?
Sure.
Misha Brugger-Gossman.
Yeah, Misha was great.
Is on the show. She's like a internationally known soprano diva opera singer. Hilarious. So funny, and I was pleasantly surprised. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, here we go.
Yeah,
But she was great.
She's up for anything. And if
Yeah.
when you watch the show on the New Year's Eve, you'll find out what we mean by
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
She was game. Oh
But
my God.
over the years, I think the most unexpected for me, the most unexpected guest. I don't know if you guys. I don't think you guys were with us at the time because it was many years ago. Was we had Lloyd Robertson on. Actually, he's on again this year.
Really?
But and he'll be 80 in January. Can you imagine? But many years ago when he was still doing the CTV National News, we had him do a newscast for us, and he was hilarious. He sang opera. He made balloon animals, all while doing this newscast. And he was so funny because he played it all so straight. You know, you're thinking it's like Peter Mansbridge when he's done our show too. The same thing applies. He's so serious, so authoritative. That's what your image of him is. And when he does something that's not, you're sort
Yeah.
of like, what?
Yeah.
You know, and it's just funny.
But you know, over the years, we've had so many different guests, unexpected guests, like Jean Chrétien
That's
was
right.
in the building being interviewed by Pam Wallen before she was a senator, and
Before she was Pam Wallen. in fact.
yes,
Before the
and
Troubles.
we knew that somebody was in the building, but it was all hush hush. We thought maybe is Celine Dion in the building because it was all the security. Well, it was the Prime Minister, and then we happened to have a set where we were doing a sketch with the House of Commons sketch. So
With you and Roger.
Right there and then, the writers wrote a sketch for Jean Chrétien to come on and Pam Wallen to come on, and that was just so
Yeah,
incredible.
That was a good moment.
And you
Just-
play Pamela this year
Yes, and
Yes, I did.
Yes, you do.
Yes, Pam Wallen.
in the Senate Games.
the
You know,
Senate Games.
In our radio days, we would travel across Canada and do our radio show, and Pam Wallen was a guest of ours. And she comes from Wadena, and her mom and dad were in the audience, and Pam comes out, and then there's a little reception after. It was in Saskatoon, I think, we were doing the show. And her mother comes up to me and she goes, you know, Luba, I like your Pam better than Pam's Pam. and her mother, and Pam goes, Mom, I'm your daughter. She goes, I know, honey, but Luba's very much funnier than you. But I'm not supposed to be funny. I'm a journalist. You know, she was so hurt. So after that, she called me her evil twin sister, you know.
I got questions on social media from young sketch comics who wanted to know what your best advice for them are. You know, people who are fans of the institution of Air Farce.
Back off.
Yeah. Very good.
I think you just get as much. Sorry, Craig,
go ahead.
Just get. I'll be brief. Just
Yeah, but I'll be real brief. Yeah, improv.
improv, a sketch. Just do as much as you can, in front of live audiences.
Yeah.
You know, people want to be on TV, like, oh, I so want to be a TV star. But you need, like, Craig does plays. I have a one-woman show, a play about my life and whatnot. Just get in front of an audience and just perform and get that experience in front of live people. Like, see, you're just sitting there going, well, let's try to make us laugh. Come on, come on. Like, you know, never hold that laughter in or it'll find another way to exit. And I'm warning you.
So, Craig, what do you think?
Yeah, it's, wow. Just work hard, always keep training and be persistent because they were, the people that I started out with, I mean, there's a handful of us that are still doing stuff, but there's so many that were brilliant that are no longer in the business, and it's tough. You get told no a lot, and you get a lot of rejection, and then sometimes you're very fortunate.
Yeah, well, that's the secret of my success is that I kept doing it, and everybody else my age quit.
Yeah.
What about you, Arnold? What's your advice?
Just keep positive. You know, there are a lot of naysayers out there, but you got to, you know, I always have this thing, you know, love the life to live and live the life you love, you know. I just truly believe
And
that.
be handsome.
Yeah. All right, guys, we can't wait to spend New Year's with you. Really quickly, what are you doing for New Year's before we go?
I'm watching our show, and then I go to bed.
So 9 o'clock in bed. See you
bed.
next year.
Yeah.
Watching show, going to bed with Dawn. I mean, at dawn.
Wait a minute, I thought
Stay
I was
up
going to bed with Dawn.
Oh, very awkward now.
He's got a king size.
No, it sounds like a party.
I'm going to say Martin. So.
Fabulous. Fabulous.
Well.
Craig?
I'm hanging out with my buddy Martin. It's not quite the same. I'm gonna watch the show. I have two little boys, so and I have them this year for New Year's. So I'm just gonna be hanging out with them, ringing in the new year, and my girlfriend.
And when is the show on?
It's on 8 o'clock on CBC.
Tuesday,
It's a Tuesday.
December
this year?
31st. New Year's Eve! It's a New Year's Eve special!
All right, everybody, make sure you watch it, and let's give a big round of applause to the cast of Air Farce, and we'll give you another little peek at the special before they go. Thank you so much, guys. Let's take a look at that.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I wish you all a prosperous, abundant, and most of all, a very healthy 2014. And thank you so much for coming. Thank you very, very much for being here and supporting us. And it's so lovely to see Sally, a photographer, and all these wonderful people. Thank you.
All right,
let's play a video now.
Let's watch that clip, and then Skydiggers are out with a Christmas Carol. Let's take a look at it.
And my final guest, her tongue gets more publicity than the entire Kardashian family. She needs no introduction.
It's me, Miley Cyrus!
Why you keep riding that wrecking ball?
It's cheaper than flying Air Canada!
If you can't hear what I'm trying to say, don't believe what you read from the Star's front page. I once smoked crack cocaine and drank too many pops. Now I won't even suck on any kind of cough drops.
Everybody, Josh Finlayson and Andy Mays of Skydiggers. Guys, you've spent 25 years together. What do you do as a band for a silver anniversary?
I thought you were going to say, what do we do for fun?
How did you celebrate 25?
We put out 4 records this year. That's
Whoa.
one for each season.
That's right.
And tell us about your holiday album.
It's called Angels, and it has, it's a bit of a melancholy Christmas album, which I think is appropriate for the season. I think it's both a joyous time of year and for some a melancholy time of year. So we wanted to represent both sides of the coin. So yeah.
It's a lovely album. I've heard it. You're about to play something from the album for us. How did you choose, of all the classics and new stuff, what got on the album?
Well, we wanted to do, like I say, we wanted to do something that hadn't necessarily all songs that had been done before and done better than we would do them. So we picked some favorites, John Prine's Christmas in Prison, The Pretenders, 2,000 Miles. And we've always been a big fan of Good King Wenceslas as a traditional carol because of the message that it imparts.
Great. Well, you're going to play that for us right now, right?
We'd love to.
Thank you very much. Everybody, Skydiggers.
King Wenceslas looked out on the feast of Stephen, when the snow lay round about, deep and crisp and even. Brightly shone the moon that night, though the frost was cruel. When a poor man came in sight, gathering winter fuel. Hither, page, and stand by me, if thou know'st it telling. Yonder peasant, who is he? Where and what his dwelling? Sire, he lives a goodly Kent, underneath the mountain, right against the forest fence, by St. Agnes Fountain.
Bring me flesh and bring me wine, bring me pine logs hither. Thou and I will see him dine, when we bear them thither. Page and monarch, forth they went together, through the rude wind's wild lament, and the bitter weather.
Sire, the night is darker now, and the wind blows stronger. Fills my heart, I know not how. I can go no longer. Mark my footsteps, my good page. Tread thou in them boldly. Thou shalt find the winter's rage freeze thy bloodless cold.
In his master's steps he trod, where the snow lay dinted. Heat was in the very sod which the saint had printed. Therefore, women, men, be sure, wealth or rank possessing, ye who now will bless the poor, shall yourselves find blessing.
All right, thank you so much. Let's hear it again for Skydiggers. Thank you, that was lovely. Happy holidays, everyone. Have a great new year. We're going to see you January 8th, where we've got Kevin O'Leary and some stars of the Olympics. Have a great holiday. We're at CBC, #CBC Connects. Thank you for coming. We'll see you next year. Thank you, Eli.
Thank you.